Good evening. I'm Robert Gibbons, and I decided to follow a new creative journey, and this is my first chance at doing it. After much reflection, this is New York City, and we're living under martial law. We're living in a new reality, and I decided to try to move myself into a different direction. And so there are a lot of people that I'm grateful to know and to have known. So a lot of wonderful opportunities have come across my way. And so this is my one chance that I feel that I can do something positive in this new reality. And there are a few little people that I would like to shout out to. That's my mother, Dorothy, my father, Robert, my grandmother, Versi, my grandmother, Maddie. And some of these people have transitioned, but I'm still remembering them. My uncle, Calvin Edwards, who just transitioned in January. I also like to remember some people, local people, Joy Leftow, who just had surgery, Jay Trollick, who just lost his wife, to my friend George Wallace, who just celebrated a birthday, my aunt in Florida, Velma Edwards, who just celebrated a birthday, to my friend Terrell Green in Florida, who just celebrated a birthday, and to my dear friend Roxanne Hoffman, who helped me visualize this idea, put yourself into a better place. And that's what I'm calling this. Put yourself into a better place. And I decided, because I live in New York City and we're in this exile, to continue to believe in the vision as a writer that I want to envision myself. And to the people that I've met on this journey, and those people that have given me chance after chance, I want to say thank you. And I also want to say that my journey is my journey. And however it may come down, I have to walk it. I have to live it. And I have to believe in who I am. And so I start today with this video project. Put yourself into a better place. And what a wonderful opportunity to read from a wealth of people that I've met along the way. Some people are no longer here, but some people I have met, and I will share that with you as this project evolves. And if there are anybody out there that would like to collaborate with me and help me evolve this video project, I would appreciate. Reach out to me. I would like to start off with my first selection by one of my favorite metaphysical writers, and he was a Florida man, Howard Thurman. And I'm just going to read a short paragraph and tell me what you think. Silence is the door. There's a very great virtue in the cultivation of silence, and strength to be found in using it as a door. Such a door opens within. When I have quieted down, I must spend some time in self-examination in the presence of God. This is no facile admission of guilt for wrong done or too quick labeling of attitudes in negative terms, but it does mean lifting up a part of oneself and turning it over and over, viewing it from many angles and then holding it still as one waits for the movement of spirit and judgment and honesty and an understanding to examine oneself. In introspection and inner probing may become sheer morbidity, but to examine oneself in the climate and in the mood of prayer carries with it a kind of lift and positiveness that is at once the antidote to morbidity. Every period of prayer should provide for an experience of self-examination. And self-examination issues most often is a sense, the acknowledgement of which is the first step to forgiveness. Howard Thurman, metaphysical writer. Please check him out. Again, I'm grateful for the moment of introspection and the moment to share with those of you who will take the opportunity to listen. This is not about me, and I maybe occasionally as this evolves, I will read poems from other people, for myself. But this is a tribute to the wealth of people out there along the way. And so tonight, I've selected 4 works. And the next work is by a person I met here in New York City in the East Village. I read at Cornelia Street Cafe. He's read there. When he's come to New York, I think he lives in California. But I did have a chance to listen to Richard Loranger. And the title of his book is Poems for Teeth. And I love Richard's flow and his rhythm and his use of language. And I just want to share. He wrote poems about his teeth. And I want to share one of his poems. And maybe you will check his book out. Poems for Teeth by Richard Loranger. I need some lights. Emptying from the mandible, the daughters of the blade began to sing. Slice, willy, willy. Slam, crush, and grind until you find your way into the sheer wild world. The cartilage becomes your dream. The dream, a living fact of rock and canker, fantasy and chance. Tone that canticles and finds flowers brewing in the unkempt mind. Deep in this cave, a tiny creature breaks through the wall. A breeze breaks in, and the stoned hand of an ancient bas relief, resting here for ages, starts to move. Your eyes slide open beneath a veil of clay. An unseen ally tears the film and teases vision in today. What nascent rock abides, child? What ooze calcifies and blooms, nearly weightless and resplendent, with last dregs of the mist? What fierce cooing do you hear deep in the root of antiphon? Manila answers with a cry, breaching bounds of latch and nerve. Smash, skin, crash, crack a smile, find your feel, and fall into the dark, dark look. The primal children gather in a game of spear and clash, piercing fracas, shrill dismay. False alarms, resounding steel with glee and sodded through with sugar logs and lemonade, motley all around and laughing in the roof of old garages, call and clamor, fireflies, darting minds, a sandbox spray battle cries, rattle for position, wild eyes, rye with song, balls fly, confetti flung, and bit lips wrung. Taste this salt of effort, an anthem on the heel, as the troops melee, charge and dodge, tackling, tussling, waving arms, stamping, cheering, leaping for that slim diurnal moon, and variously cantering on the precipice where rocks shift, grass grows thin, and all the sky is a carnival. Deep within the tongue begins. Woo can ignore precocious play, lifting from the limbs and joints, ligaments aching for the screech, teething gums, taking rails, thickening souls that love the pound, the taste of sun, the surging veins sprouting in deep gain, on a deep deciduous plain. Oh milk, oh gleam of endless summer days, of sated alley cats, betrayed by a few short seasons, molted, torn, unceremoniously spat by brick itself, on a rock the size of an orchard, slipping from the coast into the algae and ague of honking horns, intermittent rain, the smiles of an unreadable dream hung on the rack of a well-worn tome. Poems for Teeth by Richard Loringer. Check him out. He's awesome. We've had so far the metaphysical writer Howard Thurman, who was more of a theologian, and then we had the writer Richard Loringer. Another person I've met here in New York who is a wonderful person and a wonderful writer is my dear friend Leah Umansky. And she, in her book, Domestic Uncertainties. Let me see. Leah autographed it. Love that. Love that. I'm going to read one poem from Leah so that you can get an idea about her work. I'm going to read the first poem, What Literature Teaches Us About Love. How long does Heathcliff wait before he storms through Linton's door? And how long does it take him to learn the words she wants him to learn the habits Kathy wants him to acquire? How long does it take him to adapt to silk and satin, to grow adept to words like master and sir and certainly? And he does this for her, and for love, and for passion, and for truth, and for beauty. And he does this for her, for all the things she wants in a life. And he does this for her. And he does this for her. And he does this for her. And he does this for him too. For when he finally gets behind that glass door, he will need this love. When he finally gets beyond that door, he will learn that she is not his, and what he thought was just a new name, an appendix, a footnote, a seal, is more than a name. It is an anchor to the world. And then she crashes and is lost in the gasp of the night. He faces the bleak, and this is good enough for him, this life and love after death, because this all goes on beyond the grave. And after death there is no heart, and after death there is no unknowing. For what could have been, there is only what is, and there is only what has, and love, always love. Good job, Leah. Leah Umansky, Domestic Uncertainty. I decided to do this because it's important. You need to hear from the inside, from the deep in the heart of people. And I'll read one more poem and then I'll end it on my first day of trying this new project. Please reach out to me. Please tell me what you think. I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Marilyn Thomas King. I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Daphne Caraballo, to my dear friend Frida Grace Jones, and to her son Fonzie. I also like to give a shout out to my dear friend Harriet Chapel. T.S. Eliot wrote a poetry book called Murder in the Cathedral. I want to share that first poem with you. I think it's very relevant in a way. And this is the chorus part of Eliot's poem in the Cathedral. Here let us stand, close by the cathedral. Here let us wait. Are we drawn by danger? Is it the knowledge of safety that draws our feet towards the cathedral? What danger can be for us, the poor women of Canterbury? What tribulation with which we are not already familiar? There is no danger for us, and there is no safety in the cathedral. Some presage of an act which our eyes are compelled to witness has forced our feet towards the cathedral. We are forced to bear witness since golden October declined into somber November, and the apples were gathered and stored, and the land became brown, sharp points of death in a waste of water and mud. The new year waits. It breathes, it waits, it whispers in the darkness. While the labor's kick of a muddy boot and stretches his hand to be free, the new year waits. Destiny waits for the coming. Who has stretched out his hand to the fire and remembered the saints at All Hallows, remembered the martyrs and saints who wait? And who shall stretch out his hand to the fire and deny his master? Who shall be warned by the fire and deny his master? 7 years, and the summer is over. 7 years since the Archbishop left us, he who was always kind to his people, but it would not be well if he should return. King rules or barons rule, and we have suffered various oppressions, but mostly we are left to our own devices, and we are content if we are left alone. We try to keep our households in order. The merchant, shy and cautious, try to compile a little fortune, and the laborers bend to his piece of earth color, his own color, preferring to pass unobserved. Now I fear disturbance of the quiet seasons. Winter shall come bringing death from the sea. Rainous spring shall beat at our doors. Root and shoot shall eat our eyes and our ears. Disastrous summer burn up the beds of our streams, and the poor shall wait for another decaying October. And why should the summer become consolation for autumn fires and winter's fog? What shall we do in the heat of summer but wait in the barren orchards for another October? Some malady is coming upon us, and we wait, and the saints and martyrs wait for those who shall be martyrs and saints. Destiny waits in the hand of God, shaping the steel unshapen. I have seen these things in the shaft of sunlight. Destiny waits in the hands of God, not in the hands of statements. Who do you, some well, some ill planning and guessing pursuing, having their aims which turn in their hands in the pattern of time. Come, come, happy December. Who shall observe you? Who shall preserve you? Shall the Son of Man be born again in the litter of scorn for us, the poor? There is no action, but only to wait and to witness. T.S. Eliot, The Murder in the Cathedral. Thank you so much. This was a new journey for me tonight, to be able to expose myself like this. And I'm dealing with a lot of issues in a lot of different places. But here, in this moment, I'm free. I call this poem, I'll end with my own poem called Social Distancing. I wrote this poem recently. Social distancing. I wanted to believe that this is proper etiquette, that this is the method that will save me. If I stay away, isolated, shell-shocked, like my grandfather who worked beneath a green grease truck. And if by chance he would ask me to join him, would ask if I could help him pump the grease, but he would not speak, would not look up, only under the roof, under the hood of his truck. It was more important than the entire world as it rotated on its axis. And there were days that he didn't live, only existed, only mused, only missed a touch, a handshake, could not be tactile or kinesthetic, missed that there's something prophetic in a connection that makes it perfect. And some said he was distant or mean or angered by the World War I or II. His rifle left as a relic. It left him lonely, a peddler with a dog, a wanderer without freedom papers. And it happened that the gangrene attached his diabetic toe, and the distant grew until his fructose and his glucose, until his insulin, and he became a paraplegic. His social distance had a force, left him divorced from a social and an economic. And then one day I asked, where is my grandfather? And my grandmother said, he is gone. He is gone. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I know this is a long 25 minutes to listen to a poet, but do reach out to me. There's so many people that I'm going to read from their work, and I'm going to share in your vision on my new journey called, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, Put Yourself in a Better Place. I'm Robert Gibbons. Reach out to me and let me know what you think. Thank you.